Hi, my rosebuds. How are you all doing? How is your week? How is your weekend? How are things going on your side of the world? Just wanted to check in with you before I jump into my interview. But before I do all of that, I will reintroduce myself for those of you who are just joining me and don't know what I do here, what we do here. So, here's a little bit about me. My name is Rosie. I'm a native of Jamaica. Born and raised there. I migrated here over 30 years ago. I have been here since. I live in New Jersey. I work in New York for a wonderful organization for over 20 years, and I actually do love my job. I have a wonderful and amazing son who lives in Florida and who, by the way, has his own YouTube channel as well. I know he's going to probably kill me for even saying that. So I'll probably drop it in the description for you guys to check him out as well. My parents, both parents, are deceased. I have my siblings are spread across the globe, but we can reach each other readily and easily accessible. I love to travel, as some of you or most of you probably already know that. That's my passion. I will also be sharing a little bit of my travel escapades here on the channel with you guys as well. And I love wine, preferably red wine, but I love all wine. I do love getting together with friends and family, more on intimate occasions if possible. And I love to entertain when I can as well. Love a good book. I love the beach. Um, just all things good vibes, good food, and good company. I love that. I created a space, Heart to Heart with Rosie, so that it was more so for me where I could express my thoughts, my feelings. I had gone through a lot prior to the pandemic, and I think I had a lot to say, so I wanted to kind of come out with that, just kind of free myself. I know a lot of us have gone through some of the things that I know that I will be talking about. So I hope that I can, inspire you, motivate you, and help you to kind of step out of your box to share your story as well. I won't drag on about this, but you can check me out. Everything in the description box down below. How to reach me, how to contact me, everything like that, how to follow me. So before I continue talking about myself and forget about my guest, I have with me a very dear friend. I had the pleasure of working with her for a few years at the same organization that I am at right now. She left, went on to bigger and better things, which I miss her. And I'm talking about Angelica Marie, which is right there on your screen. She actually is in New Jersey as well. She is a graphic designer, a birth doula slash photographer. She's also the creator of Karasi, where she creates affirmation art featuring women of color and promotes getting in touch with your own creativity. She's also a dog mom and a whole fiance. So she will be getting married. She's off the market. She's off the market, guys. If you're watching, she's off the market. She's a member of Sigma, Lambda, Gamma. Am I saying that right? Okay. National Sorority Inc. And a chapter founder at the University of North Florida. Angelica, thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm glad when you accepted. Um, I'm trying to pick, different people, different things, millennials, older people. I'm trying to give a mix of, people coming on and, chatting with me, just conversing. So thank you again. I wanted to ask, first of all, what made you become a graphic designer?
When I started doing graphic design, I think I was like 12 years old. And at the time, I didn't really know that it was a job. I was into this R&B group called B5.
Uh-huh.
And so they had like a message board. And on the message board, everybody had like these little signatures, and it would be like little collage images of their favorite members of the group or like other faves like B2K or Chris Brown. And I was like, I want to do those. Like, I want to make those. So I started like teaching myself how to do it. I actually like opened a little shop on there where like people could send me requests and I would make the requests for them. Then I moved on to MySpace. I had like a little MySpace shop and I still didn't know like that was a job
Right.
until I went to high school and I met a teacher and she kind of told me that it was a job. And then that's when I kind of was like, okay, I think that's the thing that I want to do. Yeah.
So you knew nothing about like the pay grade,
No,
nothing really about the workforce or whatever it would. Okay,
I didn't
okay,
even know like what I was doing or what it was called. Like I just was like teaching myself how to use the programs and things like that.
okay, okay. My son actually got into it at school as well, but coming out of school, he could not find a job to, utilize what he learned. And, we always said, why would you go to school to learn? You should take the ones that are just coming out of school, give them a try, let them get out there, use their expertise or whatever they learned in school. But he never got, he got a job later on, but it never lasted very long. So and there was no room for growth for him, so he kind of just left that alone.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
well,
actually really fortunate because I don't know if you know, but when I got hired at my first job, I was still in college. Like I still had 2 months of college when they hired me.
really? Oh, I didn't know
Like
that.
I came from Florida, I did the interview, and then I was only there for like I think 3 days. And they gave me a homework
Wow.
assignment, and they were like, "Okay, you have to come back in 2 days to do this assignment." And I was like, "Oh, I can't come back in 2 days. Can I come tomorrow?" And they were like,
Wow.
"Are you sure you want to come tomorrow?" I'm like, "I will come tomorrow. Can I come tomorrow to present my work?"
Right, right, right.
I wonder if that like influenced me getting the job, but yeah, I came like the next day to present, and they were really
Well,
shocked by that.
that's a good thing. I never knew that. I never knew you were
Yeah,
still in school. Oh, amazing, amazing. Okay. So that's good. So that means you love art. I don't even have to ask that question. You
yeah.
definitely love art. But it wasn't the money until you got into it and realized how much you were gonna. Okay. You didn't want to take a break?
I mean, you
It
know,
happened too fast. It
you're
happened too fast.
you're Jamaican. Both of my parents are Jamaican. I feel like even if I wanted to take a break, that might
Mhm.
not have been a thing. Like it's you just like it's kind of ingrained in you to just
Yeah,
always like
yeah, yeah,
find
yeah,
what's
yeah.
next and find how you're gonna be successful and be able to provide and sustain yourself. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if I wanted to take a break. I think
Mhm.
there was so much pressure to find a job, like not from my parents, like they're
Right.
definitely super supportive, but just like pressure from society to like know what I'm gonna do with my life and find a job. So like I was applying to jobs like crazy. Like I said, I got the job before I even finished college. So like I don't think I was thinking about a break at all.
I got you. I got you. I got you. So basically, you got the job opportunity that you studied for. So that was great. Not all people are lucky in that respect. So yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, what kind of sort of tip or guidance would you give to someone who's thinking about doing that? Would you tell them go for it, do it for the money, do it for what would you actually tell them?
Yeah, me, I'm always going to tell people to go for it if it's something that you desire. Go for it. Don't really think about like the logistics of it or how you're going to do it. Just go for it and figure it out along the way. That's what I do. It's probably not the best advice, but yeah, just go for it and figure it out. And usually it eventually works out, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer and just keep going.
Okay, okay, good. Are you an only child?
No, I have a brother and a sister. I'm the oldest. I have a brother and a sister, and then I also have a stepbrother and a stepsister.
Okay, okay. And I heard you mention that your parents are Jamaicans as
Yes,
well.
they
So
are.
how was that growing up with them? I mean, is it any different from, I mean, I know you're pretty much Americanized now. So was it any different? I mean, do you see a difference with,
Um, Definitely a difference, but I feel like being a child of immigrants, you're like kind of in a weird space. Like a child born in America whose parents are immigrants, you're kind of in a weird space because you're like at the middle of two different cultures. So sometimes I would feel, I mean, I guess I still kind of feel like that sometimes, where like I feel like I'm not Jamaican enough, and then I feel like I'm not American enough. Like it was just like you don't really know where you land or where to fit in, because like a lot of the cultures and customs and things that I was learning from home, especially, you know, with my mom, weren't the same things that my peers were learning at school. Like my mom would like make sure that we knew different poems and we would have to recite them to her in the car. Um, we had like different like Jamaican books that she would make us read and things like that. And my
Okay.
dad, he's always like giving us different foods and saying, embrace your culture. Like, especially for my little brother, because he was like very picky growing up and he never
Right.
wanted to eat the food. He always be like, embrace your culture, embrace your culture. So it's like we're definitely like in a very weird in between
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
not really knowing, you know, where we fit.
Do you get to visit Jamaica?
Yeah, you know, like I spent my first birthday in Jamaica. I feel like I've told you this before. Like I spent my first birthday in Jamaica with my aunt and uncle and with my grandfather. Um, and I had like a VHS that I would watch all the time of like my first birthday and me
Right.
as a baby. But I never went back until last year for my stepmother's birthday. That was my first time being there as an adult, which was very exciting because my like I was there with my dad, so that was cool. We were doing the tourist thing.
Right.
So he really wanted to take us to go see like where he grew up and all of those things, but it was COVID
Yeah.
times. So
Right.
there were curfews in place and things like that. So
Right.
hopefully I get to go back again with him soon, so
Okay.
that like I've seen photos and things, but it would be nice to actually go and see like where he lived and where he grew up and all of that stuff.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, you did tell me about the first birthday, but for some reason I thought that you went back. I don't know. While we were working together, I thought you had made a trip back at some point.
Listen, I don't know what was wrong with me. Like as a teen, I had opportunities to go back because my
You
parents
go.
had gone back. But like for example, there would be some. My parents are divorced, so like there would be summer breaks and
Right.
or winter breaks as well, and I could go back to New Jersey to stay with my dad, or I could
Mm-hmm.
stay in Florida with my mom. And I would always
Mm-hmm.
be like, I want to go to New Jersey. It was cold. I don't know why. So like there were some times where my mom in the summer she would go,
Oh
or in the winter
no.
she would go to Jamaica, and I would be like, no, I want to go to New Jersey. And
Oh
looking back,
wow.
I'm like, why did I do that? I should have
Wow.
been with my mom. Like, why did I go to the?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. I wonder why you didn't.
I don't know.
Anyway, but hopefully you'll get to go back soon. I mean, I know and I've heard. I mean, a lot has changed. I don't know if you follow the news sometimes with stuff that's happening there. The violence, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, I hope when you go, you feel safe, and if you're staying at a resort, that you'll definitely feel safer than if you were staying in someone's home or wherever. But yeah, go with if you can go with mom and dad again, that would be good too. So yeah, 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 yeah.
Definitely.
I'm definitely going to root for you to get there again. So yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned about when you went, it was COVID times. So I know I don't like to talk about this or ask this question, but how has COVID affected you or your family's lives?
Yeah, it's been a tough go for sure. Like I got it um like right after my 29th birthday, so that was what 2 years ago now.
2 years ago, yeah.
I got it right after because I was like being super careful. I never went anywhere. Like even my dad would invite me to his house, and I'd say no, I'm not coming.
Right.
And then some friends came to visit, and I was like, okay, I'll go out with them because I never see them, so
Mhm.
I'll go out with them. And I went out with them, and I got it.
That was
And then I was like very upset. Like I was kind of beating myself up because I was like, you see, I hadn't been going out, and then the one time I actually go out, I get it, and it was tough. I was very sick. Like it was a tough time. I was very sad. Like I think that was like the worst part. I was like very, very sad because like at that time we didn't really know a lot. So I was like, what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna have lasting effects? Like, is my body gonna change inside? Like, I don't know. So I was very, very upset when I had COVID.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then like a year later my dad got it, And
what's
my dad
that?
is young. Like my dad had me when he was 20 years old, so he's 50 and he got it. And it really tore him up. And like he's a super
Oh,
healthy person. Like he goes to the gym a lot, he plays soccer, like he's a
right.
very active person.
Wow, he's very active.
He's very active and it took him down. Like he couldn't speak. He ended up
Mhm.
in the hospital because we had to basically beg him to
Oh
go to the
God.
hospital. And that was hard to deal with because again, we didn't know what was gonna happen. Like
Right.
it was hard to see my very bubbly, very talkative dad who couldn't even like form a sentence because
Right.
he couldn't breathe.
Oh
So
God.
it was a little touch and go there for a little bit, but
Um,
thankfully he's okay. He's back in the gym. He's back riding his bike. Um, but yeah, thankfully my mom hasn't gotten it or anything. And like the whole time I had it, Marcus didn't get it, which is
lucky him.
yeah, I know.
Oh, lucky him.
He might have had it, but like it might have not been like as strong as
Severe
mine.
as, yeah, as bad.
Where he
Yeah.
didn't know.
I'm sorry to hear about your dad though. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm glad he's on the he's
yeah,
mended, and yeah,
he's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's back to his normal self, if not crazier than before.
That's good. That's very good. And you didn't lose anyone. You didn't like immediate family or
Yeah,
anything.
no
Okay.
immediate family that I know.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you
Cool.
know, you kind of just it's like that 6 degrees of separation. You kind of just feel it, like your friend's mom, like
Yeah.
friends, like it's just all around us.
Yes. 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 Well, thank God for that. And I know we're still living it. It hasn't left us. And every day
For
a new
sure.
strain. And then we hear about the monkeypox that's happening now.
Listen,
A friend of mine just sent me clipping, some news clipping, and said they were like,
listen.
a friend of mine just sent me clipping, some news clipping, and said they were like 68 cases in Georgia. So I'm like, really? Like, okay. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know much about it or
Yeah.
anything about it. I don't know what to say. But yeah, but she mentioned that she showed me the clips. I'm like, okay. And I am supposed to actually try to visit my sister um, by the end of the month. So I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna be afraid and not go because I had COVID. I caught COVID after dodging it for like 2 years. I got it like a week ago, almost a week and a half ago. Yes, I was here. I was home for like I was had it like 12 days. I was actually home, so it didn't get me too bad. Did have a terrible fever that lasted 2 days and just made me feel weak. So I was glad when I got the one line, the one
Yeah.
line. I was glad when I got
Yeah.
that. Yes, so
That relief.
but, exactly. So yeah, well, good that everybody's well for you, and you are feeling better. I hope whatever you have right now, it doesn't develop into anything. So, um, I want to talk about your baby, Karasi. I remember when you put it out there. I don't remember when you started it actually, but I remember when you put it out, and I'm like, is this Angelica's? I followed you. I followed you, followed all the things you were doing, and I noticed that you had your little site. Not little, it's a big thing. But you were doing your thing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like you said, Karasi is just a place where I create art, affirmations, to encourage women of color. Um, it actually started because it's funny. It's funny saying this now. I wanted to leave my previous job and I needed portfolio projects that were like the ones I was doing there were good, but I needed like variety because they always
Right,
say your portfolio should have things that reflect the work that you want to be doing.
right.
So I was like just coming up with like ideas for fake projects that I could do. And I came up with the idea and I started to work on it. And then I was kind of just like, why does this have to be a fake thing? Like, why can't I make this into a real thing and just see what happens? So I did it. I made a little Instagram. I started making art. Um, and I started making affirmation cards and things. And people liked it and they started following me.
Oh
And
wow.
it's still kind of crazy because I just have like a bad habit of not really praising myself or like talking about my accomplishments. So I kind of like downplay it or like don't really promote it. I'm just like, yeah,
Right.
it's a thing that I do, but like it's not a big deal. But it
It's something I
is.
do on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little thing I do on the side, no big deal. But like it actually is a big deal, and like
Yeah.
it touches a lot of people. People message me like, "I love your art," and this one has touched me. This resonated with me. So it's cool. I will definitely say that's another way that COVID affected me, which is where I've just been so overwhelmed with the world that I just don't feel like creating anything, which I think is okay. Like, I think we live in like a society where you feel like you always have to be doing something, always having to be making things. But I feel like COVID has kind of had the opposite effect on me, where I kind of just feel like, all right, this is a time for me to pause and just
Yeah.
breathe and just reallocate myself.
Right.
So people keep asking where's the artist, so I hope to get back to it soon. But right
Okay.
now,
Okay. So you basically took a little break. Since
yeah, a little
okay.
break,
Okay.
planning a wedding and
Okay.
just living life.
Bigger and better things, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely we'll get back to it soon.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can see new art, new inspirations, and things will motivate us to actually. Who probably somebody might be stuck. Your art might just give them that little push that they need. So that's good. Um, you also mentioned that you are a photographer. I'm like, I didn't know you were. Is that a hobby thing or a professional thing?
I would say a little of both. So like kind of around the time where like I started doing digital art, I was doing photography as well. Like anybody who knows me as a teen, they would see me with a camera. Like I would go everywhere with my camera, like
Okay.
literally everywhere. Church, school, everywhere I
Oh,
had my camera. But then it was like kind of the same thing where like I didn't really know that it was a job or like something that I could do professionally. So
right.
when I found the career that I wanted, it kind of took a back burner, um, which has always been like a little bit of a regret. So recently, that's when I've started doing it again and like
Mhm.
putting it with my birth work. Um, but yeah, that's always been a passion, but definitely more of a hobby.
Okay. Do you think you might take it up probably professionally?
Um, yes, but paired with my birth work. Like I don't think I'll
Okay.
ever like just be a photographer.
Right. Okay. Got you. Back to your birth work. I'm gonna go jump into that because when I heard the name, I'm like, what the is that? I had to literally Google it. Yeah, I had to Google it because I had no clue, never heard of it, never heard the name actually before. So, all right, for everybody who doesn't know, what's a doula or who's a doula?
Yeah, so a doula, there are many different types of doulas, but specifically I am a birth and postpartum doula. So what a birth and postpartum doula does is they help somebody through that journey to giving birth and then within their postpartum period. So that kind of manifests itself in different ways depending on the person, but it's generally education beforehand, helping them with their birth plan, helping them feel confident to advocate for themselves when they're going to their doctor's appointments or when they're in labor, having them prepare mentally, physically, spiritually, um, working with them on their birth plan, working with them on what to do when, and just kind of just being somebody in their corner, that has the knowledge, has the expertise about birth and labor and postpartum to make them feel confident that they have somebody on their side besides their partner or besides their other family and who knows what's going on.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So are you there for them like in the hospitals or in their homes or either or? It doesn't matter where they.
Yeah. It
Okay.
doesn't matter where the person gives birth. There are some doulas who are very specific about where they will attend.
Okay.
Like if you are doing a hospital birth, then I'm not the doula for you for their
Okay.
own personal reasons. But me personally, I've supported births at home, I've supported births at hospitals and at birth centers.
Okay. Okay. And my big question: How or why did you want to become a doula?
So funny enough, um, yeah, I was just like reading about Black mothers. I was reading about this. She's actually a doctor. Her name was Dr. Shalon Irving, and she ended up dying from pregnancy related causes after she gave birth to her child.
Mhm.
And I was like reading about it, and I was just like writing very passionately on Facebook about it, and just like, why is this happening? Like, and then somebody commented, it was like, you should be a doula, and I was like, I don't know what that is, so I'm just gonna push that to the side. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a graphic designer. I don't know what a doula is. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was reading about Serena Williams, and it was kind of the same thing. These two Black women of like a high status who have money, who have education, are going through these like, complications and things with their births that are either death or near death. And so if that's happening to them, then like what's happening to your regular Black woman,
Yeah.
like what's happening? And then like I would share, and my friends, like different friends from high school or college, they'd be like on the post, like, oh my goodness, I had a similar situation.
Oh,
And
wow.
I didn't know because I'm not a mother. So like I didn't know, any of this stuff.
Right,
And then
exactly.
somebody came again and was like, you should be a doula. So I like messaged her and I'm like, what is that? Like, what do you do? And she told me, and I like looked it up and I started looking at things, and it just kind of felt like something I should be doing. And if you talk to a lot of doulas, they always talk about like this calling or like this feeling that this was the right thing that
Mhm.
they should be doing.
Mhm.
So then I started looking into different programs, and I like applied for a scholarship, like a person of color scholarship for a certain organization. And I was like, okay, if I get this, then I'll do it. And I didn't end up getting the scholarship, but they gave me like a partial scholarship.
Okay.
And then so I was like trying to talk myself out of it. I'm like, well, I don't want to like pay for this whole like certification thing. And Marcus was like, do it. Here you go. And he like gave me the money to like,
Wow,
like,
that's
yeah,
nice.
he's awesome. He was just like, do it.
Oh, yeah.
So then I did it, and I've been a certified doula now since 2019. And it's been great. It's very rewarding work. Not something I do full time, obviously, because I'm a
Right.
designer full time.
Right. Right.
But it's rewarding work. I love doing it. I love being able to support families, and I learned so much, like things that I would never have known
Right.
because I haven't, gone on that journey yet. And then things that help me when I'm interacting with doctors now, like
Mhm.
knowing like, oh, I can ask a question of my doctor, or like I can decline something, or I can ask for clarification on this, or I can find a different doctor if I don't like this one.
Right.
Whoa, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of unheard of. So yeah, very, very thankful.
That's good. That's really good. And it wasn't after when I heard that you were a doula, I went someplace with a friend. They had some kind of like open mic. I can't remember what kind of event I went to, but it was like a at this like a bar lounge, and they were introducing this girl, and they happened to mention that she was a doula, and it like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, okay, I know what that is. I felt so proud because I know what that is.
Yeah, that's the cool
But
thing too,
yeah.
because now I feel like even my friends that live in different places to where I couldn't like go and physically be their doula, but
Mhm.
just like the mere fact that I'm a doula, they now know what that is. So they either go seek one out in their area, or they ask me questions and I'm able to support them.
Right.
And then they still feel supported, and they still like, after their birth, they always come back and they're like, thank you so much for the information that you gave me. Like, it really helped me. So even just being able to do that, like I think that just helps. Because like my parents too, they didn't know what a doula was. Like sometimes they still don't know what a doula is. But it's just like, continuing to have those conversations with people. It just like
Yeah. Yeah.
spreads everybody's knowledge.
I'm so proud of you. I'm just looking at you and I'm like, you're so young and you're doing so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
I'm just happy
you.
that I know you. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm happy that you made that decision to follow through with the being a doula and becoming a doula. And I'm sure all the parents, all the mothers, they really, really appreciate you. So yeah, thank you for doing that. Do you want kids of your own?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
probably, you probably are like you're probably like godparent or whatever god mommy to all these
I
babies that
am.
you're there with them.
Definitely
Yeah,
am. I have god kids. And of course, I have my dog child, who is
exactly.
basically a real child because she's around here somewhere. Yep, here she is, just always nearby. Just always
Yeah,
there.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Never leaving your side. Yes,
I
yes, yes, yes.
definitely want kids. My parents are going crazy,
Oh God, I can
especially my
imagine.
dad, but we're,
Oh.
we're doing it on our time.
Do your other siblings have kids? No.
No, so it's up to me as the firstborn to
As
start. I
the
mean, my
oldest,
stepbrother has a daughter. My stepbrother has a 1 year
okay,
old. So
okay.
that helps a little bit with my dad, but not enough.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. You mentioned you were talking about going to school for becoming when you did the scholarship for the doula. What kind of classes does that entail?
Yeah, so there's different programs. Each
Different
like
programs. Okay.
training organization has their own kind of curriculum. Um,
Okay.
but the one that I went through, it was a 9 month process. So there were 6 months of taking classes, just like learning about the birth process, like childbirth education type stuff, learning like what happens, learning about the different phases of labor, um, learning what to do, learning how to support. I had a stack of books that I had to read about different
Wow.
things. And the program that I went to, it was like very intersectional. So like they made sure to talk about like things that relate specifically to Black people, things that relate specifically to LGBTQ people. So I had to like read a bunch of books on those topics. Um, and then once the 6 months was done, then I had 3 months to do everything to actually no, it was the other way around. 3 months of the classes, 6 months to complete the rest of my requirements, which was reading the books. I had to take a breastfeeding course
Oh
to like
wow.
learn how to do like light breastfeeding support for people.
Wow.
I had to do like a CPR certification to be certified for baby CPR and for parents, which is very important if you're going to be like a postpartum doula. Which
Mhm.
I'm certified postpartum, but I don't really do postpartum because then
Okay.
I would just have no time to breathe. If I was
Right.
working full
Right.
time, going to births and going to people's homes to support
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wouldn't have any time for that.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think yeah, I had to write like a couple of papers on some of the books that I read and just like my vision for being a doula. And then once I did all of that, oh, there were like peer support calls. Like we had to go on support calls with, excuse me, the other people that were in the cohort with us.
Mhm.
And then once I completed all of those, then I was certified, and it was hard. It was hard to
No.
do while working
Okay.
full time for sure. Um, but I made it.
So do you get like, I mean, besides writing the papers and stuff, are you like graded? Is it like a test type thing where you're
No,
graded?
no,
No.
it's
Okay.
I think they just kind of assess your like understanding and like that you actually read the books and things like that. Oh, and the most important part
Yeah.
that I didn't even say is that in order to get certified, I had to attend 3 births before I got certified.
Before, really? Oh my
So that
goodness.
was a struggle. To
Wow.
one, find births, and then two, to not be afraid. Like,
Yeah. One of the questions I was going to ask you next is that one because I was going to ask you about your first one. I mean, how was
yes.
that for you?
Yeah. So I actually had a client before my first birth, but she ended up giving birth like super fast. She forgot to call me. I was so devastated because I like built it up so much. I was so
Right.
nervous. And then she's like texting me like, "Hey, the baby's here." And I'm like, "You didn't call me. Oh my goodness. I'm such a failure." So then my real first
Yeah.
birth, yeah, they took a chance on me. They
Yeah.
vibed with me. It was a same sex couple, which I think was
Oh,
great for my first
okay.
birth to be a
Right.
same sex
Right.
couple, because that's definitely a community that I wanted to be able to support. They took a chance on me, and it was a great birth. She had kids before, so she kind of like knew how the process went. So that was helpful to me
Right.
um, because I didn't have to like explain everything. So then I could like focus on the physical support and just like getting my bearings in this new place.
Right.
Because like, first of all, I'm in a hospital. I hadn't really been to the hospital a lot because I just, like it's different when you're going to the doctor. It's a different situation.
Different setting, a different role. Yeah.
So just like in the hospital, the nurses and the doctors trying to find how I fit into all of it and trying to be supportive, not really know, like even though I had all the training and stuff, like most of the learning really happens when you're in the space.
Yeah.
So I'm just like there, like everything I learned just like went out the window and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just so scared. But it was great. And then like once they like gave me like a review after, they just talked about how supportive I was. Then that made me realize like, oh, I did help and I did make a difference. And then that made it easier for the second and third one. But yeah.
But you weren't nervous. Were you a little nervous at least, or?
Oh, I'm nervous all the time.
All the time. Like,
wow. You can't show that you're nervous.
you never get used to it. It looks like you won't ever get used to it.
Yeah, because every birth is different. Every birth has new situations and new things, and it's like a new thing every time. Like, of course, there are things that you learn, like you start to learn the patterns, you start to learn how people sound, things like that. But every birth can be like a completely different situation, so you always have to be on your toes.
Right. So would it be fair to say that a doula is almost like a midwife?
Common misconception.
Okay.
Well, no, I would say a midwife is closer to a doctor. A midwife is a trained medical professional, so they get medical training. Doulas, we do not have medical training. We can't deliver babies. There might be a situation where like the midwife hasn't made it there yet or something and a doula has to catch a baby, but technically you don't want to do anything like that. We're there more for the parents. We're there to support the parents. So like sometimes you'll see people like, oh, I'm looking for a midwife or a doula, but really you need both, because a midwife is doing all of the medical things that you need. They're checking you, they're making sure that the baby's heart rate is good, all the things that a doctor would do. And then a doula is there for like that emotional support and that physical support. So they're like doing pressure points on you, they're making sure that you're drinking water, and like sometimes a midwife can do that stuff as well, and most times they do, but the difference is they're like more focused on managing the birth, so they might not have time to like give you that emotional support all the time that you need, or give you that encouragement and stuff like that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I actually was thinking that they were similar, but you broke it down for me.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure other people may have been thinking the same thing.
All the time.
I thought that's what actually a part of
that. Deliver babies, and I'm like, no, did not go to school to deliver babies.
Yeah. So is there any kind of a requirement to becoming one? Is there a requirement, or you can just say, okay, a doula? Yeah.
Yes and no. So doulas have been around, like from the beginning of time. Like doulas have been around, but it's, it maybe didn't have a name to it. Like even for example, I found out that my great grandmother, she used to deliver babies in her town in Jamaica.
Oh.
I was able to, like, she's still alive. She lives in Brooklyn. So I was able to call her and talk to her about it and talk to her about what she did. And I was like, oh, that's like a lot of what I do. And she was doing that, when she was probably around my age living in Jamaica. Wow. So like doulas have been around. So I feel anybody can be a doula, but like in today's day and age, everything has like requirements and certifications and hoops that you need to jump through. But doula work, birth work is like an ancestral thing. Like midwives never used to be like licensed, but it wasn't until hospitals were like trying to like, kind of put a war on them that they had to start jumping through these hoops and getting like specific schooling and things like that. And then like same with doulas, like especially with COVID, they put a lot of things in place to where you have to like show your certification to go to certain hospitals as a doula, because they're only, for COVID, they're only letting in one person with the person who's giving birth. So
Wow.
then that became a problem because people need their doulas. Like
Right.
doulas need to be in the space. So then a lot of states, like I know New Jersey did this. I'm not really too sure about other states, but Governor Murphy, he put out an executive order that said doulas do not count to that one person. Like doulas
Wow.
are part of the support team and they should be
Yeah.
able to be there, and you can't keep somebody's doula from being there, because New Jersey has like a lot of initiatives in place to try to help with the maternal rates that we have
Mm-hmm.
here, which are really bad.
Mm-hmm.
We have like a lot of things in place, and they have identified that doulas are one of those things that help people to have better outcomes at their births. So they put that thing in place to say a doula is allowed to be there. So now the hospitals are like, well, we want to see your certification. We want to see this. We want to see that, because we want to prove that you're a doula. We want to
Mm-hmm.
prove so that you're not just letting your mom come in with you, or you're not just letting some random person come in with you. And like on one hand, it's like, why does it matter like who a person is choosing to support them
Right.
in one of their most vulnerable times in their life, where anything can happen? Like, why are
Mm-hmm.
you trying to put these like stipulations on them to who
Mm-hmm.
they can bring? But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of hoops and things to jump through now that maybe didn't exist 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's just like you just have to adapt with the times.
Okay. And I guess do your research, try to find out, what's new from what they're doing now, what's
Exactly. Like
changed.
it's
Yeah.
always changing. Hospitals have
Mhm.
different policies. This hospital has a different policy from that one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And you said it was mostly for you do this for mostly women of color, or there are other or minorities.
Yeah, for the most part, I've supported all types of women.
Okay.
But for the most part, I would say like the majority of my clients have been women of color. And I feel like because I work a full-time job, like my goal is to support the people that I feel need it most. So that's what I try to do. Like I'm not actively like, if somebody white comes to me, I'm not turning them away, of course.
Right.
But like that's my goal. That's my hope, to be able to support the people that I feel need it most, the people that are dying the most.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of clients right now?
No, because like I said, I'm tired planning a wedding. And I mean, wedding planning is great.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not really taking up too much of my time. It's more of just the excuse that I use to not do things.
But if they want you, they can reach you. Like they call you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay, like
I told myself I was kind of taking a break this year, and I didn't want to do like any births. But one of my dear friends, who had her baby recently, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything, but like if she asked me to be her doula, then I would absolutely do it. Like there's no way I'm gonna say no to her.
right.
So I was happy to be able to support her.
Oh.
And that's probably gonna be my only birth this year, unless somebody is giving birth in like December. Maybe I might take it on, but yeah.
Does it pay? Is it a reasonable?
Yeah, you can definitely make a living off of it, but it's like it's the trade-off of it. Like, of course, you have to charge to be sustainable, and then you have to take a lot of births a month to be able to sustain yourself.
Right.
But for me, it's like, because I work a full-time job, it's not really sustainable for me mentally to take a lot of births as well. Like I need, like when I go to a birth, I need like at least a week and a half to just decompress and feel like myself again. So there's no way I could be taking like 3-4 births in 1 month and feel like a human, like I would just, like, if I wasn't working full time and doing all these other things that I do, maybe. But yeah, I try not to take more than like 1 birth in a month.
It's draining a little bit, right?
Yeah, because you could be with somebody for 24 hours or more. Like you could be with them, and then you're not just chilling, like you're holding them up when they just feel like they can't stand anymore.
Right.
You're feeding them water. You have to pretty much stay awake, and you're feeding them, and you're doing things on their backs, massaging them and things. So your hands are hurting, your feet are hurting, and then you're just in a hospital. So like even if you could like nap a little bit, you're napping in like a very small chair or something. Right. So yeah, it's very taxing. And then you're also kind of internalizing whatever is happening in that space. It's a high emotion space. So
Right.
like if they're being mistreated by their doctor, you know, like you internalize that, and then so it takes a while to kind of unpack that and get that
Yeah.
off your
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't, I listen to you and I think of, I guess I just think of like the basic stuff, but not realizing how much goes into it. So, yeah, I mean, that's good to know. Like I said, I never knew anything about a doula. You hear what the midwives do, but it's like because the ones you know of or know, they're like more of a professional. They're like one, two, three, and they're done, what they're doing. But, for like you said, for you to be with somebody for like 12, 24 hours, who knows, 36 hours. It's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
you're
lot.
the only person that is there with them. Like sometimes the nurses change shifts while you're there. So you might start with one nurse and then you might change to another nurse. And the
Wow.
doctor doesn't come until you're in active labor. They might pop in and check you, to see how far along you are. But they're
Mhm.
not coming until it's time for the baby to come out. The doula is there with you
You're there.
literally when
Exactly.
you call
You're
them.
there through all
Sometimes
everything.
I'm with clients from their house. Like they're like, I think I'm going into labor, but I'm not ready to go to the hospital yet. And I'll meet them at their
Wow.
house and then I'll stay with them from there until they go to the hospital or the birth center. And then I'll stay with them after as well, like after the baby's born.
Yeah. Well, bless your little heart.
Thank
Bless your little heart for doing that. Yes. You seem to
you.
have a passion and a knack for it. So keep at it. And I guess next year when you're fully into it, you're going to immerse yourself into all your little projects.
Yeah.
I hope you get to do that once again, as you love to do. um I wanted to ask a little bit about your wedding. How is
Oh,
that going? Your plans, how is that going?
yeah. Wedding planning is fun. Like I'm having a great time. Which I think that's unexpected to say. People always ask me, how's wedding planning going? And they expect me to be like, I'm stressed or whatever. But to me, like, of course, there's a lot to do and there's, a lot of different moving pieces. But
Right.
Marcus and I were just like very calm, nonchalant type of people. So the most important thing to us is that we get to get married and we get to have this big party to celebrate. And, things might go wrong, we still get to get married.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're just kind of just riding that and just having fun. Like we just like come up with ideas and things and just make sure that everything is like true to us and true to
Right.
who we are. Like we're not doing anything just because people say you have to do that at weddings or that's what happens at weddings. Everything that we're doing is because we want to do it and because it has significance to us.
That's
So
good.
I think that's like what has kind of taken the stress off, and like we just don't have a lot of pressure. Like we don't have people telling us like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
would say the guest list, that's the one thing that's like stressful because I
Yes.
have a big family on both sides.
Oh
Both
God.
sides are huge. And like Marcus, he doesn't really have a big family.
Family.
Like just with my mom alone, my mom has 7 brothers and sisters. And it's not like I don't know them or like, you know, I know all of her siblings. They all had a hand in raising me. They all
Wow.
are special to me. So they all have to be there. Like it's like, and then my
Oh God.
dad, like my dad has so many siblings. Like of course
Wow.
I don't know all of my dad's
Oh.
siblings, but then
Mhm,
there are ones that I'm close to and I feel the same way about as well. So it's just
mhm.
like, yeah, that's the part that's stressful to where it's like trying to make sure I didn't forget somebody or like this other cousin
Right,
like
right,
wanting to come and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is expensive and I just don't have any more room. But I've kind of just made peace with that.
right,
And
right.
at this point, I'm just like, if we can make it happen, then sure they can come because I just like
Good.
that was really stressing me out for a while.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now I'm just at the point where I'm like, whatever.
Do you have a cutoff of like amount of people for the guest list? Do you have like you guys talk about a cutoff?
We wanted to have 120 people. We're at 145 people now, so
Woo. Okay.
hopefully no more.
Okay. Okay. And where are you having it in New Jersey
Yeah,
or?
in New Jersey, in Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool, cool.
it's
That's
a
nice.
nice little artsy. wedding venue over there that we're getting
Nice,
married at. So
nice,
very
nice.
excited.
It's a morning or evening wedding?
Evening, because we
Evening.
want a party, we want a bashment, so you have to start at night.
Oh Lord, they want to cut up. They want to cut
Yes,
up. Oh
exactly.
Lord, I can only imagine. Oh my goodness. Well, Angelica, I was going to say Jelly, but yeah, Angelica Marie. I don't know what else to ask you. I think I've asked you pretty much all that I wanted to. I'm happy for you on your engagement, and now you're getting married. I'm happy about that. You made me so proud, and I look at you. You're talking about your doula work. I am very proud of you, and Karasi, of course. Um, I hope that maybe you could come back and share some of the wedding stuff with us.
Oh,
Maybe you probably might find a new venture, so we can talk about
yeah,
that.
for
But
sure. Yeah, because I've been planning this whole thing myself, and I've learned so much.
really, by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, with Marcus, of course. He
Right,
does
right,
what he
right. But
wants,
just
but
wow.
yeah, we planned the
Oh,
whole
that's
thing
amazing,
ourselves.
girl. That's amazing.
So definitely have a lot to share in that regard.
So all your friends are gonna call you now and ask you, okay, so how do you do this? How do you do that? What would you? Yeah, they're probably
Yep,
gonna do
I have
that.
all the tips and tricks.
Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I have something else to ask you. Um, Forgot that you're a member of the Sigma Lambda Gamma National
Yes.
Sorority Inc. How did you become a member of that?
Oh, that was interesting.
In school?
In school, yeah. So, like I said, I'm a chapter founder. So the sorority didn't exist at my school before we brought it there. And I think I'm the first person in a Greek organization in my family. So I didn't really know anything about Greek life. I didn't go to college wanting to be in Greek life. Um, Especially for like the historically black sororities and fraternities, like a lot of people that join those know before they go to college, like, I want to go to college and I want to be in this organization because my mom is in it or my cousin is in it, my dad's in it. I didn't have any of that. I didn't know anything about Greek life besides like what you see in movies and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
that is not like a realistic portrayal. So there was a group of girls who are now my line sisters who were starting it at my school, and they like I was like sitting. We have like the student union place where we just sit outside and eat. And one of my friends came up to me and just like slid me an envelope, and I was like, "What is this? Like what?" So then I opened it, and it was like an invitation to an informational about this organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, and I was still kind of like, I don't know, because like I said, I didn't know anything about Greek life or anything like that. Um, but then we were able to meet some members from different schools. We were able to meet some members from FAMU, which is HBCU. And once I met those members, it was just like they were kind of different. Like I had met other people who were in Greek life on my campus, and it was kind of like they were kind of stush with you. Like they were just kind of like, oh, I'm in the sorority, and like you might be interested or not, so I'm just gonna keep you over there. But with them, with the members of Sigma and Gamma, it was kind of like they wanted to get to know me. They wanted to get to know like, oh, what's your major, and like, what do you like to do, and like they wanted to get to know me as a person.
Yeah.
And that was just like exciting for me. So I was like,
Nice.
yeah, sure, I'll do this thing. Still didn't really know what the heck I was doing. Um, but yeah, we ended up bringing the sorority to our school. The sorority was founded in 1990 at the University of Iowa, so very far away from Florida. And in 2012, it was founded at my school. And so it's just cool to know that I'm like a part of that legacy because I can like the chapter is still around today. Like I can go back there. There's new girls that are still joining today at my
Oh
school.
wow.
To know that like I was a part of that foundation um, is great. And I'm still active in my sorority. I still do things, and I'm actually an advisor at my chapter right now. So just helping the little ones with their operations and things like that. But yeah,
Girl, you're moving.
I do a lot.
I'm listening to you, and I'm like, and then I said to myself, everything that she's mentioned, she says, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was getting into, and you pull it off.
Yeah, that's why I
You
said
put
that's my
your
advice.
hands
Just
through,
do it and
yeah,
figure it
you
out.
pull it off, and then you as you go along, you figure it out. Oh my God, I wish some people had that had that inspiration that you have, had that motivation that really you have. That's amazing. Oh my god. When I asked you and you said you're a chapter founder, I'm like, I didn't know that. I know you were a member of the sorority. That's why I asked you about that. So what was the name of the sorority again? But I didn't know you were a chapter founder. So
Yeah.
girl, your plate's full. Your
Yeah.
plate is full.
I do a lot.
Wow. Can you get people fuller? No, but you're doing amazing.
I think it's my Jamaican roots that make me
Listen, girl.
do
Yeah,
so many
have
things.
a million and one jobs, right? They have
Yes.
a million jobs, and they handle all of them very well. But no, I listen. I'm very proud of you. I'm really really proud of you. And I want you to keep soaring, keep soaring. The sky is. I'm not even gonna say your limit. You can even pass the sky if you can. You know, just keep going. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm happy to know you and happy to have worked with you for the short period of time. You and my princess Fran.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was great. It was great chatting with you. Great having you here. I hope your wedding. When is your wedding?
November 4th.
Wow.
November 4th coming up.
So, it's very much so. So yeah, I hope that goes off without a hitch. And I know you and Marcos will be happy because you guys have been together for ages.
Yes.
From like when you're little kids, from you're like 2. But yeah. But yeah, I hope that keeps going. And I pray that you'll have little ones running around, not just the dog, real little ones running around your home in no time. So
Yes.
really, really happy, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was fun. Thank you.
You are welcome, and thank you for joining. I really, really appreciated this. Thanks, Angelica, and I see you soon.
See you soon.
By the way, let me know your info or tell people how to get in touch with you if they need like a doula, a graphic designer.
Yes, sure. So for birth work, it's Karasi Birth, Karasi Birth on Instagram. For my affirmation stuff, it's We Are Karasi, WeAreKarasi. We Are Karasi. And then for graphic design stuff, it's byangelicamarie.com. byangelicamarie.com.
Okay, cool. And guys, don't forget, I don't think I need to tell you. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll put all the deeds in the comments, in the description, description below, so everybody can have access to that. And thank you once again, my darling. I know I've taken up a lot of your time today on a Saturday.
Oh, this flew by.
I hope you feel better and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too.
All right, honey. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.